How we doing, everyone? Welcome back to another edition of NASCAR's DFS picks. This week we have the Truck Series at Kansas. I am your host, TK Nation 47, joined by Andrew Berry, Mega Ruler 31. How are you this evening, Mega? Are you excited for some mile and a half racing?
I'm pretty excited, and I learned something quite interesting. Do you know where this Kansas racetrack is?
I would assume on the outskirts of Kansas City, no?
Right. And Kansas City is Missouri, which I knew, but this but this Kansas track is the Kansas side of Missouri, so it's actually in Kansas, but not
Oh,
Kansas City, but it's considered Kansas City, which is in Missouri. But anyways,
so
the reason I know all this because I was looking up the weather, and the weather is
yeah,
actually really nice. And the nice thing too is it's an evening race. It's seven something
yeah,
like 7:17 Eastern Standard
yeah.
Time. So you get a whole day to go out, mow your lawn, enjoy your family and stuff, and then build your lineups after dinner and settle down for a nice night of racing that should not get interrupted by weather. However,
Yeah,
there's like a 40% chance of rain on Sunday for a cup race, but we'll worry about
right,
that Sunday.
right. Yeah, this I love the trucks at night. They really glow. It's really cool. Mile and a half, it's not going to be anything like we've seen with like the Talladegas and the short tracks. We have Bristol Dirt and Richmond for these trucks, and it's like we're gonna see these guys fan out.
We had
And
two races this year out of the six that were intermediate tracks. We had Atlanta and we had Las Vegas. So we have a
yeah,
little
we
bit.
haven't seen them in a while. Yeah,
Right, right.
yeah,
And this isn't the tire wear track that Atlanta is. It's more similar to Las Vegas. But
right.
tire um, strategy will come into play because they don't have as many sets as NASCAR does in the Cup Series.
Right.
So you have to be smart is when you put them on because it could get to the, and we've seen it in Xfinity, we've seen it in trucks this year that they have to go long, long runs, and if they blow a tire, they're putting scuffs on, which are the best tires that they have left that they already took off that still have a little
Sure.
tread on them. And some guys in some of these races over the last couple of years have only taken two tires on some stops, and it helped them keep track position somewhere in the middle, and then they
Hmm.
had a whole set to put on at the end, and it really made a difference and helped them win.
Yeah.
So that's going to be quite interesting. The other thing is the restarts here are key also. If you don't get a good restart here, then that can put you so far behind. So not that there's a track that has a ton of cautions, but if there are cautions, then that can make a difference, like who can get off the line first.
Yeah, I think the only way to kind of predict that would be with experience and having done restarts at Kansas before. I think that would be the only way to kind of just, kind of fulfill that, that strategy. But yeah, we can get right into it. The Wise Power 200, 134 laps. As I mentioned, we're talking mile and a half. We have John Hunter Nemechek on the pole and Kyle Busch sitting two. So let's start the debate. 4K savings or the best driver of the field?
Well, I had this debate with myself last time because you couldn't see on the video, and we saved a little bit. I can't remember if like Bush was like 16.5 or 16, but anyways, he's a little bit cheaper now. And I was right last time. I said I'm drawing a line in the sand. I did the math. John Hunter Nemechek can get me just as many points with a more balanced lineup than Kyle Busch and a band of scrubs can get me. So I am on Team Nemechek again. It's actually saving me $4,900, and I'm going
Yeah.
to put that to good use. And I do think these two trucks are going to get out there, and I think that they're going to compete and lead a lot of laps. But I really think that Kyle Busch, being an owner, realizes that John Hunter Nemechek is going to compete for a title this year. Now he already has two wins, so he's definitely in the playoffs. His seeding is going to be very good with those two wins because you don't have as many truck races. And I can't foresee like anybody else going out winning like five or six. I think
Hmm.
when Bush is done racing, that John Hunter Nemechek is still going to be the best truck out there and have a
Yeah.
very special season. But that doesn't mean that Kyle's gonna let him win. Although he might let him win some of the stages.
Stages. Yeah. Which is going to set up lead laps and, fastest laps of that sort. So with that being said, I think we saw it. I can't remember where, but yeah, makes that team Nemechek for me as well. I mean, of course, I'm going to have some Kyle Busch. What if
Yeah.
John Hunter has some issues early and Kyle Busch leads and dominates this race, which is absolutely 100% possibility. So Kyle Busch and GPPs and rolling out the John Hunter Nemechek idea in cash again.
And we've seen in multiple races this year too that these guys can race each other safely. Like they're not a threat. They're not the Penske guys in Cup that are a threat to take each other out.
Right. Or Chase Elliott and Alex Bowman taking each other out last week. That was great.
Or our favorite Xfinity guys of Noah Gragson and
Hemrick.
Daniel Hemrick.
Right. So we have like a odd range here in the 3 to 6. We have Ben Rhodes, Johnny Sauter, Chandler Smith, and Todd Gilliland. They seem to have some form of they seem to have a shorter salary for some finishing position. Do you think any of these guys are capable of finishing where they start and paying off their salary?
I don't think really. I mean, Rhodes and Sauter, they're in Thor trucks. They're good trucks. Chandler Smith, I mean, he's
been running well.
Yeah, but the problem is he's a young driver, and unless he's a Kyle Busch truck, which means that they probably have notes and stuff, but I don't think he's had a chance to really figure out things on his own. His setup was horrible for the Atlanta race, and he finished 29th, I believe, in Vegas. So I'm definitely
take me out. Yeah,
there. Yeah, Gillian, I don't really like him. His price is really cheap. He's like 69. He's the cheapest one in the top 10. But I just don't see
it.
Yeah. I don't see him even staying in the top 10 possibly with with some of the other guys in the middle that could work their way up into it.
Exactly. This is a long 134 laps. I think these guys are going to be fades for me. 4 through 7 through, I believe, 10.
If something tragic happens, Austin Hill, I think, has the best truck in there. I don't mind
Zane Smith.
I don't mind Zane Smith in cash, simply because he had a dominating truck here last year for these races. And in 2 out of the 3 races, he got taken out by his GMS teammates in it. And then the other one, it was just they blew it on pit strategy. They swung for the fences and they whiffed. So it was their strategy got off and they just couldn't catch back up to get back into a competitive spot again. So he definitely has potential. 91's a little tough there, but I think if anybody can get up there and lead laps and challenge either Nemechek or Busch, I think he would be the one besides Austin Hill. Just
fantastic.
His current form here.
Yeah. Any love for Stuart Freeze and round out the top 10?
No.
Yeah, me neither.
It's just he's just not had
short tracks are my favorite for freezing. And
he's just not the same. Like he started his own team, which I think is gonna be great, but they haven't had a chance to test or do. COVID has taken away like all the practice and testing and all that stuff, and that's what you really need to get data and to refine things and to become competitive. So no.
Cool. I would have to agree. Christian X, or is his name Christian X? Yeah, I think so. 8,100. Any love for him making his way back with Thor Sport?
Whoa, we skipped a whole range there.
Oh, I didn't write them down. I didn't even think to him.
Well, Carson Hocevar is going no place but backwards. Matt Crafton, I think, is okay. He did win at Kansas last year, and again, I think it was on pit strategy. He got the tires right. He pitted at the right time. I think some trucks got stuck behind him. A caution came out or something. It was something weird like that. But so, he's one here recently. He understands the track and he's in a Thor truck. It was really good. I don't like Ankrum, Cross, Lassard. They all could be GPP. Yeah. Austin Wayne Self, again, he's probably about 4 places higher than we like, and we like him in the 20s, but I have him finishing 16th and he's starting 16th. So at 5K, he's not a horrible play.
Yeah.
If he can maintain his position. So
Right.
he is in the player pool. Let's just say that. Okay, now we come to Akis. Now Akis is taking over the 96 truck for Enfinger
Right.
this week. So here's his chance to go out there and do something with it.
Sure. And that's kind of like that's what like I was transitioning to. This is a prove it race for Mr. Eckes. So I kind of like him at 8,100. I think you can get to that price tag with a John Hunter Nemechek. And I think if he's really trying to, solidify himself in this sport, he's going to need top 10s, top 5s. So I like that kind of motivation.
Now he had this truck at the Vegas race and he finished that.
Yeah. So exactly. So I like him. Was kind of jumped off the page. I do have Tanner Gray written down here as a decent GPP option.
Absolutely.
Maybe even cash, starting 18th, I believe. 5,900.
Yes.
That we both like him. Any other players in this back end of the teens to the low 20s that you're kind of eyeing up?
No, I think those would be the ones. It's crazy to see like a good quality truck like DGR be, under even 7K. And Tanner Gray has had his struggles, but again, I think he is one that can finish where he started, just like Austin Wayne Self. So I like Tanner a little bit more than Austin Wayne because he's got the DGR truck versus the Nice truck. Haley Deegan's intriguing simply because like she's a rookie, but she seems like she's one that is really out there to learn and is conservative. She's not reckless, but she's not like so cautious that she's going to be just riding around the back without any speed or anything. I think that she wants to be successful in racing and that she's gets out there and she runs laps, and the more that she does, the better she's going to become. So again, first time at Kansas, there's going to be a huge curve. 53 is starting 20th. I think she could be in the GPP player pool. Again, we probably like the other two guys, Gray and Self, a little bit better based on their experience, but I think she's playable.
How about Chase Purdy here at 2,300, starting 23rd, 5,600?
I think he definitely can go in a cash play. Again, a GMS truck is a very good truck, and to see them under 7K or even under 6K in this case, it's just crazy. He probably can get up into the top 15, so even 13. So we're talking anywhere from 5 to 10 place differential points. That definitely helps. And at 56, I have him around projected at like 30 DK points. That's 5.4x. I have him finishing 18th. So looking at some of his average running positions at these intermediate tracks, 16th, 11th, 26th, 22nd is his average for like all the intermediate tracks in the last couple of years that he's run. So yeah,
I think he's worthy of a GPP flyer. How about Tyler Hill and Bailey Curry, 25th and 26th?
Yeah, I think these are really solid guys. They might be hard to get to in a Kyle Busch.
The salary is a little harder.
There are 3 guys that are over 10K that are like down in the field that we're going to get to in a second that people will try to put into builds too to get like massive place differential because they could definitely get 10 to 15 places. So these guys might not fit in, but I think if you're going with a balanced lineup, I really like them. This Timmy Hill team has been very solid in what they're doing. It's like a family-owned team, but they're not a start and park team. They're actually out there competing. They have finished actually 3 times in the top 20 at Kansas. I think it was like 14th, 16th, and 19th. So I could see them getting up there again. So looking at starting at 25th, if they get up to 15th, there's 10 place differential points. That's a stretch. I'll even take 5.
Yeah, I like them starting at their position. I do wish they were a little bit cheaper, but unfortunately, you got to pay for the place differential when it comes to your punts at times, and I think they're pretty hard to jam in with the Kyle Busch lineup unless you straight go Kyle Busch and then directly to them in this high 6K range. It's kind of like a formula for the Busch lineups.
And we kind of warn people about like the niche trucks that they
Yeah,
sometimes have issues, but this 45 truck that Curly's driving is actually Brett Moffitt's truck, and he has
I was gonna say that. Yeah,
like 2 close to top 10 finishes for this already on a similar track style. So I don't think he's a top 10 driver. I could see top 20, maybe top 15 on a good day, but still
sure.
that's putting you it 15 is 10 place differential points. So again, same thing with Hill. Like we'll take that. The pricing again, and this might be a good thing too, is because you're getting a better solid quality drivers and really good trucks versus the guys that are about $1,000 less. You're getting into more suspect drivers or equipment. So I think this is a sweet spot because you get both. You get a good driver, a good truck, and a good situation for 10 place differential points for $1,000 more.
Yeah, I agree, 100%. We have, as you had mentioned, some expensive drivers in this back end for place differential. Grant Enfinger racing 29th, 10.5. Any interest?
Well, I think we need to talk about all of them at the same time.
You want to go through it all?
Yeah. So Enfinger,
Yeah.
Chase Briscoe is coming back from the Cup Series to race here, and he's starting 30th. And then we have Ross Chastain, who's starting 34th. So among them, and I think Ross Chastain, he's the most expensive. He's 12,000. He is probably the most talented, I would say, out of them. He's also the most aggressive, which can be an issue, but he's got the best equipment here too. Like Moffitt has driven this truck. He's driven this before. Again, it is a nice truck, but it should be okay. I can definitely see him getting, we have to say 10 to 15 place differential points is safe.
Yeah, at least.
Like he's the type of driver that is so aggressive that can get through this field and get the most out of this truck. And he could potentially even get up there and stay out there and lead some laps. And he's got a long shot to actually win this race.
Yeah, I think
who he is.
You were talking in exactly where I was going to go, that Chastain has nothing to lose as far as points and standings. He wants to win the race, and if there's a late tire strategy or a late fuel strategy that's going to come into play, Chastain could maybe zig while others zag and put himself into maybe the sweet spot in the strategy, and find himself at the top leading at the end of the race.
Can before a stage and doesn't have to worry about all those guys up there competing for stage points. It doesn't matter to him.
Yeah, so he's going to be doing tire strategies, stage strategies. Yeah, so I like him more. Briscoe is in the Corey Roper car, and that car's been decent this year. So I think Briscoe does need to get a look. I'm not sure what Enfinger's driving at this
speed though. That's my only concern is this truck has not run in the top 10 at all. It's been more of a 20th place truck. So
sure.
We said Briscoe seems to be a talented driver. He seems to have moved up to Cup too soon, but it seems like last year in Xfinity, his success might have been a product more of the car and the team than actually the driver himself. So maybe this is the chance for him to prove to us, to show to us, what can he do? Can he take an average truck against subpar competition and take it up there? Because in theory, he should be top 10, one of the top 10 drivers in this field.
Agreed. Not sure if I'm 100% convinced. I think Chastain would be my favorite. And we have a couple of cheap guys down here.
Well, we kind of skipped Enfinger. I think
Yeah,
take him because he's $1,000 less, and even though he's in Cody Robar's truck,
I was wondering what she was
which
driving.
is kind of funny because like Roper and Robar like used to be like the GPP last year in the truck series, like
Last man in.
Yeah, last man in. So
Yeah.
now we've got like two super expensive drivers here. And, so this isn't a store ride. And I think a lot of people are going to look at that and think it is and be like, oh, wow, he's a great play. So he might be popular, but I still think he's a better play saving the $1,000 on Chase Briscoe. Again, I don't think I see him up in the top 10, but I think 15th is reasonable. And again, that's a lot of place differential points. I don't see him getting out there and leading this race at all, but
Yeah. I think I'm going to be lower ownership on Infinger and Briscoe because I don't think, like you said, they can lead laps with those cars, even though they are really good drivers compared to the ones that are typically in these rides. I'd rather take my shots with Zane Smith or a Hill that maybe have the opportunity to lead laps if John Hunter, Nemechek, and Kyle Busch aren't doing that. And then the Chastain wild card that we had talked about kind of is right up my alley. But yeah, I was getting to some value in this back end range that I actually like. Brett Holmes, Ryan Reed. Any thoughts on those two drivers?
Yeah, Holmes is definitely a solid play. He's a top 20 driver. He's had some bad luck, but he's much safer than Purdy, Tanner Gray, some of the other Carson Hocevar, some of the other guys that we've spoken about.
Yeah,
In the
yeah,
same price range. Haley Deegan, he's got more place differential than her. Even though I said she's acceptable, I'd rather take him.
Yeah, I think he could get 5, 6 place differential points. I think it
And
could
I
be
think
worth
people
it
might
with
be
the
off
200.
because he did finish 38th in Vegas, but it's just because he had some it was bad luck. So you can just completely cross that off and move on.
Yeah, I totally. I looked at that and I tried to track back, but it's good to hear that there was only mechanical issues. I'm sure they can get that fixed up. Ryan Reed, I kind of played this guy for a long time and then he just disappeared. I'm not sure what happened to him, but I don't mind him at third.
Protection program.
Yeah, he was in the Xfinity series, I believe, for a while. But yeah, starting 33rd, I don't mind it. What about Jordan Anderson at 7,100, starting 36th?
I like him just because he's a good team. He
didn't race last week.
In Vegas, he was consistently up in the top 15.
Mm-hmm.
He seems to have speed.
This is going to be a very popular play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's definitely has floor. So
I think he's a cash play. And if you
I
want to fade him in GDP,
he is, but it's the price that's going to get you. Is he going to be, if you play Chastain and if you play Kyle Busch, can you get a $7,100 truck in?
Yeah, I am going to try the Chastain, John Hunter, Nemechek cash build. And yeah, I'm going to hope to get someone like Anderson in, along with, some of the other values that we were talking about. But if I have to play, Hill or Curry over Anderson, I could see it in GPPs, but I think that 10 place differential points between them two and that high 6K range, I think Anderson is the better play as far as a point per dollar. It's just, are you going to be able to fit it with what you want stud wise? So,
well, just looking at lineup construction in my placeholder, I built it with Chastain, Effinger, and Nemechek, and if you take him, you end up with like a Spencer Boyd or a Chris Wright. Like, yeah, exactly. You got to go with like a Hill or a Curly. You don't have you're talking a couple $100 here. Mm-hmm. So I mean, if you drop down from Chastain to Chase Briscoe, not Chase Briscoe, yeah, Chase Briscoe.
Yeah, Briscoe.
Then it works. So I mean, these are the trade-offs, and it's funny because it seems like lineup construction is going to come down to the choice between 2 or 3 people instead of like the whole field of 40.
Yep. Yeah, and I think you're going to get a lot of similar lineups tomorrow. So contrarian builds could be king as far as GPP winners. And I think, I kind of crossed off the 37 through 39. And then I rounded out with McLaughlin at 6K.
I don't know too much about him.
I don't either.
I don't know if he's related to famous Canadian singer Sarah McLachlan, but
yeah.
But again, he's starting last. The only race that I have him in his average running position was 27th. So he seems decent. I have him projected to finish with 30, potentially up to his ceiling's 30 DK points, which puts him at 5x. So
if he's not a start and park, and then that's what I worry about. That's if he's not parking it, then I think he's got a fair shot at, gaining just on place differential to in maybe 10 of it, get to like 30th, you get 10 place differential points. You're not getting much on finishing.
Actually, I did look this up.
This
is BJ McLeod's car, and they actually ran it in Vegas, and it finished 26th.
There's your average run position.
No, not average run position. That was the actual position.
No, I know. Yeah,
like the average run position for this car was 30th, 30.7.
Yeah.
So that's not bad.
There you go, 10 points right there at 6K. So I think that's fair for GBPs. There's always the shot that he just not as good as we had hoped.
Car doesn't even start the race and blows his radiator. Yeah, we've seen that movie.
That happened before. That happened. Don't ever think that's not a possibility. I've seen it. And then everyone wrecked at the back half of the Xfinity series at Talladega. Just donation. Here's my money. I don't need it. But that'll pretty much wrap things up. Is there anything else you'd like to add on the field and or construction?
No, but if people have watched the video this far, let me just throw out something on a little bit of another racing. Did a lot of studying on the Kentucky Derby, which is coming up tomorrow also.
Oh, yeah. I'm looking forward to looking into that. I got to make my bets tonight.
Yeah. So the horses I like are Known Agenda, Midnight Bourbon. Essential Quality is the favorite. I don't think he's going to win. He's undefeated, but hasn't raced this far before and against like a field with this many horses. I think Rock Your World could potentially be the winner or Highly Motivated. So those are the 5 I'm definitely putting in a superfecta. And it's not bad.
Okay.
For $1 boxed, it's 120. Yeah. And if you can, if any of those hit, it could be a lot of money. So
nice. Looking forward to getting into that. And thank you for joining me this evening. But yeah, that'll round things out for us. And looking forward to some truck racing at Kansas. You can follow me at TKNation47. You can follow Andrew at MegaRuler31 and follow us on Twitter at FSI_DFS. Links are in the bio to the Discord and to the website. And we have all of your fantasy action needs, when it comes to core lineups, projections, and all-day advice and help with your lineup construction. And should be a fun race. And everyone, good luck.